Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Wise. Today we are going to look at the next middle game theme, that is the interference. Previously, if you remember, we had dealt with the topic of clearance. Interference is exactly opposite of that. So let's get started and see what it is. See, we know that we can do four things to a defender. First, destroy the defender. Second, deflect. Third, we can pin the defender. And now what we are going to do is we are going to block its path. So we are going to interfere its path. Okay. So that is interference all about. Let's get started with the first example. So let's see the attacks and supports. So first we will focus near the king. So we see that the queen attacks the bishop and also there is attack by the rook. So two attacks on the bishop and supports are, one is the king, we can spot instantly, and second we can see the queen is supporting from a far off place. So we see the line of defense. Okay, so we can, it could be a rank, file or a diagonal. Okay, so now here we see it's the 6th rank where black is defending. So as we note, we cannot destroy the queen, we cannot deflect it. Okay, no one is able to attack it, and we cannot pin the queen also. Okay. So here what white does, white sees that he can play the knight on e6. Okay, and with this move what he does, he blocks the queen's path. Now what the problem is, if queen takes the knight, then pawn simply takes the queen. Okay, and we will see that the queen is taken. Although after rook g6 he can hold the bishop for some more moves, but after rook h1 we can see that the bishop would be lost anyways. So after knight e6, any other move, f into e6 or b e6, that blocks his own path. Okay, so the piece we have used to interfere the line of defense. So now comes queen h6 check, and we see that it's a checkmate. So this is the basic concept of interference. Let us see some more examples. So let's look at the next position now. Here we see that the white pieces are very nicely placed. The queen is closer to the king, rook is controlling the g5, and the c5 rook is also active. What we see for black, black queen is active, it is guarding the g7 square, in fact the whole diagonal. So queen f6 mate is guarded by the queen, and the queen is also able to offer check from d1. The e4 rook is also active, it can give check from the e1 square. But what we note, when the king goes to h2, it is very safe because queen and rook both cannot give check from the h4 square. So what white noted here, first one defender is queen. Okay, queen is guarding the diagonal, especially the f6 square. And second, what is, this rook is also defender, it stops queen e8 and queen f8 mate. Okay. So one more thing what we can see, this queen and rook, they are protecting each other. Here actually there are two ways to win. White found the more stronger and more, what we can say, attractive looking move, rook d5. Now what happens, if rook takes d5, then queen f8 mates. Okay, so rook d5, queen f8 is mate. If queen takes d5, then queen f6 is mate. Okay, and finally if the pawn takes, then the queen's support to the rook is broken, and after queen d8, re8, queen e8 is checkmate. So with this move, at once white is able to attack many things. He is deflecting the queen, he is interfering between this path, and he is causing other interferences. Suppose pawn takes, the queen's defense to the rook is lost. Okay, and now here only chance is re1 check, king h2, and now maybe he has to just try queen h4 is not possible because queen into h4. Okay, so hardly there is any defense here. The queen would be taken. If he tries to play any move like rook g8, then simply the queen would be taken. We can go for takes, and rook d4. We can take direct rook d4 also, and white is winning. Okay. Although I must tell you, Similar interference works also with the move re5, where we are interfering in this diagonal. If queen takes, then queen d8 wins. Rook takes, then queen f6 wins. This position is also winning, but black can continue, extend the game little bit more after the move rook f4, but that is also winning after qg5. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, here we have the next position. As we can see immediately that the white queen on b3 is attacked and it is also pinning the black queen. So another thing to be noted is that the black king has very less space. King has only square on the h8 square. We can say that the back rank is weak, but after qb8 check, rook can go to c8. So queen is defending the c8 square along with the rook. What we note that the queen is pinned right now on the diagonal, although it is attacking the queen. And main thing to be noted, the square f8 has become a weakness. The rook is attacking near the king. Any square near the king, where if we have attack, we will treat it like a weakness. Another, whichever square, wherever there are equal number of attacks and supports, suppose we can increase the attack there, that can also be treated as weakness. So here white spots the spectacular move bishop d6. See, now suddenly what has happened? All the weaknesses are exploited. Firstly, the line of defense between the rook and queen is interfered. Second, if the rook takes the bishop, keeping the queen supported, then the rooks and queen support on c8 is now stopped. So queen b8 check, rook d8, queen d8, queen e8 and queen e8 checkmates. Okay, so that line is also now breached. He cannot control c8. Queen cannot take the bishop because it's pinned. If knight takes the bishop, then just queen takes the queen check. King has to go to h8, then rook f8 mate. If the knight comes to f7, we have direct queen e8 checkmate. So the position has become totally winning because of the move bishop d6. I hope you must have seen, if queen takes the queen now, then rook f8 checkmate. So what he has to do, he has to clear the checkmate either by knight f6 or h6, and moment he clears the back rank, then queen takes the queen and the position is winning for white. Okay, so this move interference not only blocked the line, it also was used as a deflection. Let's look at the next position. Look at the next position. It's quite an interesting one. White has extracted the black king out by making a queen sacrifice. Okay, so sometime later we will look at that, how the king came out. Okay, now what has happened here, the king is quite stuck on g4, but we see that if we play h3 check, the king looks quite stable on g3, because what is the first problem? If we try to do bishop e1 check, then rook takes e1, and after h3 kg3, if we try to do rook f3, then the bishop takes f3. So from these two lines calculation, what we came to know, that this bishop is the defender and the rook on e8 also the defender. Okay, so we got two lines of defense, and the intersecting point, see, when we draw line like this and like this, we see the common point is e4, so that becomes the point of sacrifice. Okay, so white played h3 check, forcing the king to go to g3, and now comes again a spectacular move, bishop e4. Simple yet very strong. Now the problem is, if bishop takes on e4, then bishop e1 checkmate, the rook's line is blocked. Okay, so interference has taken place, and if the rook takes on e4, then the square f3 is no longer covered by the bishop, so rook f3 is checkmate. Okay, and let's have a look at this interesting position. We see that black's pieces are all way behind and no one is able to stop both these threats, bishop e1 and rook f3. So suppose any move like g4, then we can do be1 or bishop f4 checkmate, g4 in order to stop rook f3. Okay, and this bishop e1 is as it is, cannot be stopped. We saw just now. Okay, so this was about the interference. We are going to look at one more position now. So let's look at the last position quickly. It's an easy one. We see that white is very much developed and very active over here. If we look at the black pieces, we can come to know he is really struggling. The opening must have been played very badly. So the only active piece is the queen, which is defending the square h5. See, after queen into h5, the king has no place. Okay, e8 is guarded and it will be checkmate. So easy to spot that the queen is the defender and the line is from e5 to h5. So this is the line of defense. Suppose white has, I think, many ways of winning here. White can consider the move knight g5 check, after which king e8, then f7 check, and the king will have to come in the queen's diagonal and knight can move and win over there, win some material over there. Okay, but white found the easy way, a stronger move to block this. He played the move rook f5, immediately attacking the queen. Now what happens? If pawn takes the rook, this square, although vacated, is still covered by the knight. So queen h5 is checkmate. Okay. So the only option for black to play on the game is either give up queen f5, to which knight into f5, and we see that the game will not last long, because after ef we can take rook into e7 also, and we can go for the move queen h5 also when the position is totally winning. Okay, and white will soon mate black. Okay, so the move rook f5 gives an easy winning position to white. Okay, so this was all about the topic of interference. Okay, so what I did with this, we covered all the basic topics. I have only not done positions based on double attack and backrank mate directly. Okay, which I will be covering in the advanced lessons. Now what has happened here is all these positions we have covered for beginner level, and same topics we are going to cover for intermediate level, and then same for advanced level. Okay, I hope you are enjoying the lessons. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.